How many jobs it creates in the automobile industry? 50,000. 50,000 only for that assembly plant. Okay, but
The volume is quite huge.
there are 300,000 jobs more for the suppliers. So the unit itself, when GM say they're going to invest 20 billion or so, then they create only small number. Most of them are automatic automation, not labor. So what I'm trying to say is this. I mean, there are always a positive and negative side to whatever you do. What we have to, I think when we try to solve the problems, we have to make sort of a list. A list here is that would the baht keep stronger? Yes. The list here is that the G3 is still have the monetary easing of the monetary policy.
Big yes.
Yes. So when you have the certain factors, then you start looking at the uncertainties. Can our export industry survive? It's question mark. Can our consumption, internal consumption, domestic consumption will goes up? Then big question mark here. So we have to try to once we could settle down the policy, we need to stick with it. We cannot just move back and forth. I'm sure there are people that start saying that, well, why don't we do the 30%? Was it the 30% during the
reserve requirement?
The reserve requirement. Why don't we do it at only 10% this time, or 20%? Why don't we do this? Why don't we do that? But I think first we have to look at the problem and say, what is the bottom line? Bottom line is that we know it's going to get stronger, but we need time. We need a year, we need 2 years. And all these times that we will have, the government would have to spend lots of money to make sure that the industry will be competitive. For example, the baht is strong now. It's a perfect time to retool your manufacturing plant.
Throw away the old machine equipment.
Throw it away. And that would also help easing down the pressure on the foreign exchange as well. Because you'll be buying more dollars, you'll be spending more money. The balance of payment will be not too much on the plus side.
Were the US dollar to lose, they say, 20-30% of its value, what would happen to our international reserves? We've been rebuilding our international reserves since the crisis of 1997. We have to the reserves again from surplus, from tourist revenues, from more export surplus, partly also from capital inflow. But were we to lose that huge amount of money again from the devaluation, of the US?
You have to look at it this way, Khun Thanong. The reserve that we have, what is it now, 150 billion or something? Half of it, or 30% of it, it gets built up by printing money and intervene in the market. It's not about
hard-earned currencies.
No, it's not.
Okay.
No, it's not. Because we have the policy of floating currency, we don't need any reserve at all, theoretically, unless we want to somehow intervene from time to time so that it wouldn't fluctuate too much. Okay. So what do we do with it? Lots of people say, why don't we make use of it? When you start purchasing anything, import anything, you are drawing down
the reserves.
The reserve. Basically, you are using it. It depends on how you look at it. We don't just take the money out and then go and buy things. We just allow the people, like the outflow of the money, like what I've been saying, that come on, we let them, the inflow is free, but the outflow, we still have so many blocks. How could that happen? If you want to be up there, you let it free flow, in and out. Don't be afraid of it. You must have courage enough. Not so many people would want to take that risk. But I don't think it's risk. I think the more you block it, the more risk. And Bank of Thailand is agreeing. They are doing that, but gradually. intervention costs money, a lot of money, but sometimes you have no choice.
You don't seem to agree that we should have a specific target for the exchange rate, say 29, 28 is the level that we can accept. But in Japan, they are now trying to stem the rise of the yen. They have a target of 82 yen against the dollars. They are trying to prevent
Each
that
country,
from happening by, pumping in massive money into the foreign exchange market to prevent that. So what's the difference in the philosophy?
Well, they speak Japanese, we speak Thai. We are totally different. Totally different. They have so much reserves, hard currency, that they export their products out. Same as China. God, China, trade surplus is tremendous. We are totally different. We can't just say, oh, they're doing it, why not we do it? It's totally different. I do not have, or I don't have time, or maybe not even have knowledge enough to understand deep down what's happening. But the philosophy of believe in yourself and don't depend on anybody else but yourself, it's always hold. I mean, it's always good, I think.
It's interesting that you said that it's time that the export sector needs to make some adjustment, and probably we can go back to take a harder look at the domestic consumption. Is it time for domestic consumption to take a leading role? And for that to happen, the Thai people must have more money in their pockets so that they can spend.
Yeah,
and this is something, is always a big challenge of increasing the wealth of the average Thais. How do you see that?
The only way to so that each family would have meat on the table, not only vegetable. I'm not saying that the vegetarian is no good, but I'm saying in a way that you can eat good food and you have a nice home. The only way to do that is to bring up the lower income up to the middle income. The more middle income brackets of the 60 some million people, the more you can do that, the better it is for the whole Thai. And you're talking about domestic consumption, but there is no purchasing power. You can't. The salary is like this. The civil servant salary is just ridiculous. So you're talking about something that it will never happen if you cannot distribute the wealth of the nation evenly. That's one thing. Before we go into that, maybe we want to talk about this export industry. We have to be able to define the core business of Thailand. I keep saying it, I'm saying it again. Because if you can do that, then you're already competitive. Because nobody can compare with you. So you don't have to worry too much about the exchange rates, because you are the best of the best. What do you think of Italian shoes? What do you think of French fashion? Even Italian fashion, Armani's, you think they're cheap? How come they bring in so much money? Because it's not that they're cheap, not because their currency is weak.
I cannot afford to buy one.
I know. But what I'm saying is that if you're good at what you do, then the exchange or the currency of the exchange rate is non-issue in a way. So Thailand would have to look at all the export industry that we're doing right now, that we should concentrate more, and the government can help by putting more money to help those that we can do good and do best.
In order to retain the high margin there.
Yeah, I mean not just doing everything, not the concept that look, we're going to do so many subways, so why don't we put up the manufacturing of the carriage, so that we don't have to import. I mean, something like that is like 20 years outdated. So that's about the export industries, making it, because of the time we have, just summarize it, that we have to look at our core business, agro industry, tourism.
And also the services industry that we're very good in.
hospital,
healthcare.
healthcare. But you have to make sure on the healthcare that you don't take all the doctors for the rich, you know, because people go where the money is, you know. So we have to be careful there. In terms of the domestic consumption, the poor people are the farmers. So the farmers must have what we introduced when Kun Abhisit is the Prime Minister a year ago, is a farmers' income guarantee. Farmers no longer have to worry that they will lose money. If they grow rice, tapioca, or corn, we start with a tree. And if this successful for a couple of years, then we'll move on to some other products as well. So if the farmers can have the guarantee on their income, the profit margin is fixed, 40%, fixed, every year. It would be like they working for the factory, like a salaryman, that they will get the same money, no loss, every month at the end of the month. So basically they have steady income, steady profit, not only steady income, steady profit. We can do that by using their very own tax money that we distribute to them, not only to certain people, to them. So no leakage, no corruption. If we can do this, first of all, their household debt will be reduced because they have some profit. Nobody in their right mind wouldn't want to pay back their debt. It's a pride, you know. So no matter how much you help them with the program, it didn't help them about their debt. Only program that would help them is ensure profit on whatever they do. So we'll be spending some kind of money there, not much in terms of the overall budget. But if we keep doing it, their purchasing power would move up the steps.
So looking forward, are you optimistic that we, Thailand, can weather the global crisis? You mentioned the weakness in the G3 countries, the US, Europe, and Japan. We, as a small, open economy, how can we weather that storm, providing not only financial stability but also economic stability, for most of the people?
I have a better feeling about it than before. People right now, I think for the monetary policy, the MPC committee, the Bank of Thailand staff, I think they are more open today than years back. Maybe because of the world is flat now, they can, learn about all the things around them through the computers, through the internet, and so forth. So I think they understand more, and I think the line of thinking would probably be almost the same. But it's their duty to do whatever they have to do in terms of that policy. And the way it's written by law is that no politicians should or could, politicians like me, could not get involved. But what I thank you for being here today. Let me have a chance to speak my mind a little bit, so that people would know what our thinking is. But for Thailand to survive, we have more problems domestically than the international front. I think the international front, our business people are very smart and they know what needs to be done. But we have our domestic, especially political problems that we have, and that is a major stumbling block for us that we need to iron that out. If we can do that, if we can have the truly reconciliations program that we are thinking of, if we can walk through that path, I'm sure that whether Thailand can weather this storm or not, I think we could.
So you're quite optimistic that the adjustment that we are about to undertake is not going to be painful that much?
Only one condition is the domestic problems that we have. If the political problem can be solved, then we're okay. If it cannot be solved, then you have to keep your fingers crossed.
Thank you very much for joining our program.
Thank you.
สวัสดีครับ
สวัสดีครับ